Today I'm asking the question, what's the single biggest challenge you faced as a creative? Hello souvenirs, welcome back to my channel. My name is SUVI and I am an artist based out of California and southern India. On this channel, we explore strategies and tools that will help you live a happier, more mindful, fulfilling, and creative lives.
Hi, I'm Shenova. I am an artist producer based in Los Angeles and San Diego. I am a one-stop shop. I do everything in-house from recording, engineering, mixing, singing, producing, writing. I make all my own beats. I would say there's two things that have been most challenging for me in my career: making money and my ego. Or just like getting in my own way. I think it's no secret that making consistent income in a creative industry is challenging. It takes a very long time to build. Like, we're typically known as starving artists. There's a reason for that. And especially now with the internet age, we're in such a saturated industry and it's so much easier to release music and be an artist and be known and be seen in front of the world. There are less barriers in doing so, which is like a great thing, but also just the landscape of the industry has just completely changed since the internet age. So it's all about the pivot. And for me, I really had to humble myself and do all the things, follow the money. I have produced podcasts. I've done video and content creation. I have been an editor for YouTubers and that sort of thing. I've built studios. I do like really nerdy things like soldering and, putting custom cabling through conduit and all of these things that I never expected myself to do. I've been like the host on social media platforms for Snapchat and Instagram, IGTV. I've modeled, I've been an actor, like literally just wherever I could get a paycheck, I would do it. I sound engineered. I did front of house for festivals and stadium gigs for Netflix. As a creator who's been in the industry for like 12 years, you learn so many different trades, and for so long, I just needed to follow the money. Like, when a gig came in, I'm at a point now where I don't say yes to things that are a little outside of my comfort zone. But there was a phase in my career where that was like really important and essential for me to say yes before I was ready. I made a lot of money that way to get by diversifying my skill set. However, you have to know when to stop. You have to know when to hone in, zone in, and say no. Go all in on what you know is your niche, your thing, where you see for the long haul it paying off, and what you want to leave behind. Like, that's a big thing for me. Now, for the ego point, I just had to realize that it wasn't about me. Art is really a symbol of the collective humanity. Like, I think if I am feeling something, someone else probably is, feeling the same thing or similar, or it can like wake something up in someone that like, oh wow, yeah, I do resonate with that. So I think artists are just like a mirror to humanity as a whole. And that's like a really important role in the world, because if we don't reflect and have some sort of introspective curiosity, we're just going to go around blindly doing things that maybe aren't so good. So I think being an artist is just such an important role in society for us to reflect on who we are. So you have to have like a broad goal, like legacy, or why you're doing this for the collective. But then I think it's also important to have like a personal goal. And for me, when I write music, it's just me and me in a room looking at a blank Ableton session or a keyboard in front of me. My music for me are like little sticky notes reminding me of what I believe in, what life's about, how I felt during a season of my life, reminding me of who I am and where I've come from. And I just think that Collecting moments along the journey for my future self to go back to, that's like the voice in which I write music from.
My stage name is King Whale. I am an artist and musician. I play saxophone, I sing, and I do a little bit of rap too. One of the most single challenging thing I've faced in my creative journey, I think it all just comes down to time. For me, like my biggest challenge is managing time, being able to have enough time to pursue the creative pursuits, because a lot of the things that we like to do are incredibly time consuming. You know, it would be nice to get paid for that, but sometimes it doesn't always happen. Sometimes you kind of got to build up to a point where you can start to get paid for it. But in order to do that, you got to put in a lot of time. So it kind of creates, time really is money. And so if you're ever, that will be my number one thing. Being able to carve out time to dedicate to your creative passion is the best thing an artist can do, because it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of your time. It's more than a hobby. People used to say, oh, music should just be your hobby, or creating and stuff should just be your hobby. But if it's just your hobby, that's still not enough. There's not enough time in the day to build a career out of a hobby, right? So that's what makes it really, really tough in order to do it. But I think there's a way forward. But for me, that's my most challenging thing that I've faced. Like, if I got paid to just, it's the same as like a 9 to 5 job, just to sit and create all day, that's what I'd be doing. But like I said, obviously all of that, it takes time to get there. So how do I tackle that journey and that challenge? Well, I spent a lot of time working in the banking industry, as a teller and a banker. So, a lot of my time was wrapped up in that, that was the 9 to 5, and I would just spend time on the weekends, creating and stuff. But I discovered like the biggest way for me to overcome that challenge was to first of all set clear what I'm going to do today, like what I need to do today. Like, okay, I got a single coming out. I need to make a release strategy. Or, okay, I really need to record the dubs on this vocals, or I need to put a saxophone solo. I need to do that today when I get home. And secondly, I ended up just trying to look for more creative jobs for me to do to help me discover more opportunities. Like if you're going to spend all your time 40 hours a week working, why not do it as like an audio engineer at a music venue, or, something like that where you can be in your industry. And that's how I ended up working in a podcast studio. And now at least I'm in the creative industry. I can work and talk with and see other like-minded creatives. So it doesn't all feel like completely separate. Now I have, I have a way to bring in revenue, but also a way to connect with other people. And who knows, they might be able to help me out on something that I'm doing. So I think just trying to find, even if it's not the most glamorous job in the creative industry, finding something in there. Like right now I work as a VIP host for Live Nation. I wish I did that job instead of working at Winn-Dixie as a kid. You know what I mean? Because it's just a great way to learn about artists that are coming through, learn about how they do things, and just watch the industry at work. So I think if there's any way that you can get in, is worth it. Just do something to get in, Live Nation, whatever it is, because I think it makes more sense at least working in a creative field to some capacity.
Hi, I'm Shanchoy. I create and perform down-tempo electronic music, and I also work in other styles. I would say that one of my biggest challenges is self-doubt, and I think that's common amongst other creatives. I do a few different things to help me overcome self-doubt, and one of the most effective is to remind myself of how it feels when I'm in the process of creating. When I am working on music, I feel amazing. I feel so alive. Like, yes, this is what I'm meant to be doing. This is part of my DNA. It's who I am. I also remind myself of my accomplishments, not just in music, but in other aspects of my life. And I think that's important to remind me that, yes, I am capable of accomplishing wonderful things. I am capable of succeeding and learning and growing. I make sure to spend time with friends who are caring and supportive, people that I can share my life with, my accomplishments, my challenges, people I can go on adventures with and try new things with, or to just hang out and have a few laughs with. I make sure I engage in my interests on a regular basis. I love to dance. I love to travel. I love to try new foods. I absolutely love reading. I am a huge sci-fi and fantasy fan. I also love other genres. And I feel that all of these interests really feed my imagination and my creativity. And lastly, I wanted to mention that I am a yoga therapist and I help people improve their overall well-being. Helping people in this way and also having my own personal yoga and meditation practice really helps to keep me grounded and prevent me from falling into that self-doubt rabbit hole. So all of these things really help me overcome self-doubt and negative self-talk. And they keep me feeling creative and motivated so that I keep on doing what I love, which is making music.
Hi, my name is Kalyani Nair. I'm a singer, composer, orchestral arranger, and a choir director. As a musician, I think the single most challenge in my career has been to convert my passion project into something that is economically viable and sustainable in the long run. So my passion project has always been having a huge choir, choral ensemble. I always wished that I could compose and write music for a choir and take that music everywhere. Now the first part of the project has been achieved. So in 2021, I, along with my friend Karthik Manikavasagam, we founded this choir, a 40-piece vocal ensemble. It's called the Indian Choral Ensemble. In the last 3 years, it's been a challenging yet a very gratifying experience, right from when the choir was founded until today. A lot of struggles personally. So internally, to even set up the choir initially was a big challenge, finding the right kind of voices with choir, because there are so many people involved. Initially, it took a while to figure out what would be the common practice hours that we could fix so that we get maximum availability of people. Because, when there are 40 people over the last 3 years, many people have come in and some have gone. So, filling in for people who leave, which is a very constant thing that happens, right? So, finding the right kind of people to fill in again, because if you don't have the adequate number of parts, people in each of the parts, obviously it becomes difficult. The choir is imbalanced and the sound is not something workable for our compositions. So constantly, looking out for people when the others leave, that was a big challenge. But I think in the last 3 years, we've kind of found a rhythm. Definitely it's come with a lot of experience. Plus, I think we have a group of people who are really committed to our vision. And I'm really, really thankful to all my choristers who are in this completely for the passion of singing. Now, these are the internal challenges, but I think currently the biggest challenge that we face as choir directors is to make this entire project economically viable for everybody.
I hear these challenges and I feel them deeply because I've been there too. As creators, we are constantly juggling passion, purpose, and practicality. And here's what I've learned from my own journey. Number one, the world will always have their opinions about what you should do and how you should do it, but we all know what they say about opinions. But we gotta learn to follow our internal compass, because only we can tell our stories in the best possible way that it is supposed to be told. Number two, balancing passion and income starts with embracing the idea that creativity has value. Learning to monetize your art isn't about selling out. It's really investing in your curiosity. I wouldn't even call it passion, because passion is kind of passive, but curiosity instills action. So when you invest in things that you're curious about, then it is definitely going to pay itself back. But now you have to ask yourself the question, are you properly investing in your curiosity? For self-doubt, I've found out personally that showing up is half the battle. When you create for yourself first, the confidence follows. If we can break through the noise of self-sabotaging talks in our heads, then there's nothing that can stop us. Remember this one thing: Mindful actions that align with your goals can solve a lot of problems. So start by doing something and moving those muscles. Right there is one of the biggest hurdles that you can cross. And for time management, there is no end to this because unfortunately, we are given 24 hours in the day, and as an artist, we have to balance the act of doing so many things besides just being an artist. For me personally, that's also being a mother, a daughter-in-law, daughter. I mean, we all have these roles that we have to play. But besides that, I also have to create the music, write the music, record the music, communicate with clients, have meetings, create assets that will go out with a song's release. You have to constantly keep building these assets. So you are basically being the artist, the promoter, the marketer, the manager, all of this in one entity. So it's very important for you to manage your time with precision. The most important question that I would ask myself is, are there any parts of my life where time is leaking? For me, I'm very guilty of this. I would probably pick up my phone for what's the weather like tomorrow, but in the middle of it, I like automatically go into scrolling mode. Before I know it, I've spent 10 minutes scrolling. Here I am with 10 minutes of my time that just escaped into the ether that I could have done so much with. So becoming mindful and aware of those actions is the first step. And first of all, you have to become honest with yourself, like I just did. If you can identify those things that you are also doing that ends up with you spending a lot of time in places where you don't want to waste time, then identify them, capture them, and every time you keep doing it, catch yourself, bring yourself back into the present moment of doing what you were doing in the first place. That is one of the biggest hacks that I have engaged into hacking my time back. I want to give my biggest thanks to all of my independent artist friends who showed up for this video and sent in their valuable response, because my singular goal was to find solutions for the biggest challenges that most creatives face. And I hope that this video has helped you break through some of those challenges. That being said, at this point, I want you to comment below and tell me some of the challenges that you didn't hear about on this video so that we can together find solutions. Because over here in this space, we share stories, find solutions that inspire creativity. If this video resonated with you, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and join the community of all these wonderful creative humans. Until next time, stay aware, stay focused, and stay creative. Bye.